Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. Well, let's have a look at what we're looking at today. So, sorry, I'm just having a little technical issue this morning, trying to get this onto YouTube live, but it's not happening, so I'm just doing a quick recording. So let's just have a look at the data coming out today. It is Wednesday the 4th, so we've got coming out today, they've got the Australian retail sales, well, they're already out. It should be a refresh. Let's just give that a quick kick to see what they came out, minus 1.8, so in line with expectation there. We've got the non-farm payrolls, employment change. This can create a little bit of volatility, but most people take very little notice of it because it's so often wrong. In fact, I think I did the stats on it. It's 75% of the time it goes the wrong way, so it's not a good thing to be watching. What is worth watching though is the ISM services data. It comes out at 3 o'clock, and those that are trading crude, etc. Crude oil inventories at 3:30. So that's it today. We've got big day tomorrow though with Bank of England coming through there, and then of course on Friday we've got non-farm payroll. So let's have a look at the technicals then. Euro dollar first, and well, seeing this sort of actually lower highs. You can see it on a daily basis, lower low yesterday, but it's still very tight ranges, and they are very tight ranges. It's not really. It's almost as if it's dropped off to sleep, and you've seen this sort of one major bar sort of being the catalyst for a sell-off, and then all of a sudden we're seeing a bit of buying again. Still hasn't hit this weekly pivot, so it just shows you how slow things really are here. Looking at coming up the time frames here, down time frames, 60 minutes here, high lows, high highs coming through on this market. One thing I would look at is probably a trend line across the highs. If I can put one on here, so I would look at the trend line across the highs there and just see what it's up to. I mean, yesterday, leading into yesterday, it was dashing around these lows sort of thing for a while. Eventually broke off there's in the afternoon, but at the moment it's consolidating effectively. That's about all we can say on that. It's not making it easy for getting trades, but there we go. The pound dollar. Pound catching it looks like it's catching a little bit of a bid. Certainly this morning, a little bit more positive. It's come down, bounced off the weekly pivot. Higher lows coming through. It too sold off yesterday afternoon there, but has picked up since and looking a bit more solid. Higher lows coming through, and again looking a bit more bullish. However, we've broken. I'm just looking at these prior highs here, and both of those now being broken, so giving us those higher highs, and as I said, we've already got the higher lows in. So maybe on retracements it could look attractive. I'm just wary of the range. It's already moved today. Probably 2/3 of yesterday's range. So it might not have a lot in the tank, but we'll see. Dollar yen. I said yesterday these things turn on a dime, and sure enough they did. Lower highs on the daily basis, lower highs, lower lows, so it's a sort of bearish view of things here. You can see it through here, no real cracks, although it's consolidating around the bottoms here and coming down to the 60-minute. I mean, it could set up something. I mean, you're just sort of looking at sort of shooting star. It might set off something off this shooting star. Hasn't quite confirmed a higher low in on this 2 o'clock bar. If it broken the bar, that 7 o'clock bar from yesterday, that would confirm it, or just passing through that high. But at the moment it's still looking really more to the downside. I've steered clear trying to trade it, although it's had some half decent moves lately. It's just the way it goes. But there we are. Anyway, Aussie dollar, it's daily basis, creeping its way up. It's right near its low still, but consolidating, creeping itself up. Is it still a bear flag in the bigger picture of things? Is it going to still roll over? Generally, when you get sort of consolidation around lows like we saw back here when that was a low, eventually it rolls over. This is a bit more sort of flaggy pattern, but the longer it sits here, the more higher lows it can put in, and then you start questioning things. when you look at the 4-hourly, it's a lot more muddled in terms of the picture. So you got these. Well, eventually you had a higher low here confirmed, and then well, actually it wasn't confirmed until it put a lower low in. So it's quite a bit of a mess there, really. And at the moment, though, pushing up quite reasonably here, and well, missing out on this daily pivot at the moment. It's failing into the monthly pivot there. Just rolled back from that. Is it this time going to be? Are we going to see it push through again? Well, one thing I would say is, if you're looking at the sort of strength of this move, just look down at this RSI. It's hardly really, I mean, it's pushing back up there, hardly really going with a lot of momentum behind it, is it? It's quite sort of soft, and I would question the move perhaps. It may just break through there, take out some stops, but I'd question that. Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar, we've had what, 3 days on the up there now, high lows, high highs, just selling off a little bit this morning, and well, funny old bars here. Does look like it's got the potential to roll a little bit. With each of these these sort of high long wicked candles are sort of just giving you that it hasn't got the momentum, certainly through the Asian session there, to push up, but things often change at post 8 o'clock as bigger volumes start pushing through. But it has, on the 60-minute, but it has put lower highs in here. We've certainly put one confirmed lower high in there. It's looking a tad soft at the moment, but as I said, as we pitch in now, we're just running into 8 o'clock as I'm recording this, and it's actually just putting a bit more of a bearish signal in there anyway. But a break of this sort of trend line would see it as a more bullish signal. Likewise, break of these lows here would be bearish. Simple as that. Sitting between a rock and a hard place a little bit there. That's pretty much it. Let's just have a look at a couple of the cross pairs that I normally look at here. Euro yen. Well, the yen certainly got the better of the euro over the last couple of days here. With the euro effectively selling off, being the weaker partner. And well, we'll see what happens this morning. If we get another surge with the yen this morning, we could see yet another leg down. It's been last couple of weeks been a bit choppy, as you can see. It's always good to come out through the different time frames and see exactly what's going on. But we're seeing these sort of movement of lower highs here and consolidation. You sort of think, well, it might push up at some point, and it's just too weak. It rolls over. Here, well, potential to continue its roll. Okay, let's have a look at the pound yen as well as on the. Looking at the yen a little bit here, pound yen had been rolling in yesterday, found a turning point, put the doji in, looking a little bit more positive at the moment. But again, lower highs, lower lows through here. Same old sort of, where the markets are, they're pretty consistent. Although get down to the hourlies, and it's a bit of an uglier scene at the moment. Okay, that's pretty much it on currencies. Let's have a look at commodities. So this is the order I'm doing things in these days, just to keep things simple. Commodity wise, looking at gold, and well, it's struggled. I mean, yesterday was a little inside bar, the previous day was a little doji bar. It's struggling a little bit, getting occasional moves, but it's a mess. It doesn't make it for easy sort of trade spotting. I mean, okay, consolidation, you can say, well, it's a break above this these highs here, perhaps. A more bullish outlook, but you're doing so in a weaker time when you look at it's hardly convincing from a daily point of view. It might go. No, it didn't make a new high or low here really, so it might go, but it's a bit iffy. Oil, talking of iffy, bearish sort of signal we've been seeing coming through here, looking a bit soft yesterday and starting to just roll over a little bit more now. So lower highs, lower lows. The COVID numbers increasing around the world in certain countries, maybe slowing the growth or the price increases of oil for now at least. I still think even when things get back to normal, there's so much potential production there that it can roll anyway. So as soon as the producers start thinking that we need the cash, it will be rolling. But for now, OPEC have done a good job in their cartel, and holding price reasonably well, but it looks a bit soft again this morning. Right, that's the oil. Let's then move over to look at. I'm going to bring into a different chart now. I was looking. Let's just push this up. Bitcoin. So I'm just going to run into Bitcoin here, just as it's sort of next on list. Bitcoin's rallies certainly. That was running into last week. Then the weekend we saw it selling off. Well, we've just seen it selling off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week so far. Where's it going to find support? Well, potentially down here about 36.23, 36.232 even. Around these prior highs here may give some support. Maybe even a 50% retrace somewhere in those lines. But at the moment, to me, it's looking quite soft and bearish. Ethereum holding up a little bit better over the weekend. It didn't sell off, but even so, it's still to me looking like might just come off a little bit. It is one of my favoured currencies or cryptos. Ripple really not going anywhere, and this is at the moment is slowly selling off, which is whatever it's doing, it's just consolidating and slow. Maybe a good thing. Right, okay, I'll just cover those because I said I will cover them, but they really aren't setting the world alight at the moment. So let's have a look at the indices. So Asian markets then really looking at the CSI 300 index, and another update yesterday, and we're starting the morning off quite well here at the moment. It's just back into I had a sort of resistance line across there. It's just coming back to that sort of level, or support line as it was at the time, just coming back into that sort of level. Maybe it's got some more legs tomorrow and can continue, but overall this market's not looked the best. Let's just run out to a weekly. I was looking at this before, and when you start looking at it weekly, you can sort of see the lower high that was confirmed through on this last week. Well, maybe it's done. It's done its little ABC, but its little C waves are never normally the shortest. So perhaps we've got some more in store. What's going to be the catalyst for that? Okay, looking at the European markets, FTSE off to a good start this morning, straight out the gate firing. Look, positive there. And next point of resistance sits about 71.63, but I'm relatively bullish on most of the indices. Then you get to the DAX. It's looking good at the moment, but it's in such a chop mode. I've discussed this time and time again. It's just sort of sitting there. It might push up a little bit further, and about 10 minutes after I finish this, it'll sell off or something. It is just one of those. There is no trend on it. It's difficult to trade. Traders will be losing money on that left, right, and centre. You just got to step away from some markets if they're not easy enough to spot the market movement. S&Ps yesterday, good solid day, almost a bullish engulfing bar there yesterday. Certainly the body was well and truly covered, but it looks like we could be on for new highs today. But again, it's early morning at the moment. That we might see that turn around, but there is this bullishness going through the equity markets at the moment. The Nasdaq, if you can click on it, there we go, Nasdaq. Pushing back up there again as well. Solid old day yesterday, and again pushing back towards the highs. Every time I come onto these, people, is it now the time to sell? Now, why are people even considering wanting to sell these markets all the time? Because they have these put retracements. Dow Jones had probably bigger retracements relative to the other markets, but every time there's no real significant change I can see for quite some months before these really start selling off. Okay, that's it pretty much for me then this morning. I will wish you a great day's trading, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.